All right, hey everyone, I'm just one ordinary man here. I'm gonna make 2 tables for my wife's hobby shed, and we're gonna go through it in a 3-part series. 1, doing the metal frames. 2, we're gonna make the wood tops and try to fill those up and whatever, getting them prepared for the epoxy pour. And then verse 3 is going to be actually pouring the epoxy on those tops. So stay tuned. Here's part 1. So you can see I got the 2 pieces, and I'm going to put these together as a corner. I've cut off part of this and I've cut off part of this one. I've cut on one of these, this one side here, down by the thickness, the wall thickness of the other piece. So the way that these are going to go together, if I do this right here, there's a right way and a wrong way to put them together. This one on the top here, that's going to overlap over this short piece here. That fit in there just perfectly nice like that. There it is on the other side, and we shouldn't really have a problem with warping because we're not doing corners at a 45. Some of these cuts, you know, have to be a little bit shorter, longer, whatever, to make it work out because of the thicknesses of the material and because, you know, you end up cutting a little farther in. I just hacked these out in the bandsaw basically. So I have a conundrum because this is metal and this is going to get a wood top over it, which we could expect may expand or contract at different rates depending on what direction of the wood we're talking about. If I fasten the top nice and solid down to this metal plate, at some point, I'm just guessing, I'll run into problems because this is going to be not outdoors, but it's in an outdoor building that potentially, you know, the heat could get turned off at some point. Air conditioning may get turned off, may get more humid in there. Don't expect that to happen necessarily. I was thinking about, well, how do I make this so that there's potential for at least some small amount of wood movement? So what I came up with is I popped holes going all the way through here. I just did a 1/4 inch hole. Then on the other side here, I popped a 1/2 inch hole. Not necessarily the fastener I'm going to use, it just happens to be a handy example. I'm going to put the fastener through here. This leaves a little bit of room one way or the other. If the wood moves this way or that way, it can kind of drag the fastener along with it on this side. This is just kind of a fail-safe measure. I'd love to hear if there's other suggestions out there, but I'm popping a whole bunch of holes in all of these things because I want these tops to be nicely fastened down to the metal. I just want them to also have a little bit of movement. Off camera, we did some countersinking and just kind of cleaning these up a little bit. Double checking with the square. And over here, square. 39. 39. Okay, do you really want to watch me struggle here to get everything square and nice and tack these on. I think probably not. So I'm just going to do this and then we'll show you afterwards in 1 second. Okay, we have both of these tables 90% welded up. I'm just going to be adding a couple pieces in here, and I got to add a piece on each leg for the foot to screw into. So right here I'm making the pieces that are going to go on the bottom of the legs. I'm going to weld them on, but they're going to have drilled and tapped holes so we can screw the feet up inside of that and then back tighten with a nut, and this will help us to be able to get the table level to whatever it needs to be. So right here now we're drilling holes in the bottom portion of the table, and eventually we're going to put a shelf down here as kind of a finishing touch, but I'm really not too worried about that for this series. I just wanted to get the holes in here at this point before we got all the tables done. I'm going to show you real quickly how I paint. There's nothing special in this, but I think some people just haven't thought about it. I see a lot of people, actually very talented YouTube people with, you know, thousands of subscribers, whatever, and when they paint something, they do all this great work until they come to the paint, and then I watch them and they paint like this. If this is the object I'm painting here, right, they would go psh, and paint it like that, holding down the trigger and just blasting away at it. And I guess it works for them, you know. Sometimes you think, well, you know what, I bet they're cleaning up runs afterwards, because when you're doing that motion, as you come over here, you have to come back, or you stop, right? Some infinitesimal small amount of time, but you stop and you got to come back over this way, and you infinitesimally stop over here and you got to come back. So as you're spraying back and forth, you're not putting down an even pattern. So here's what I do. I start my motion and then I pull the trigger. So I start, psh, keep going, psh, and then let off, and I keep going. I follow through. And then when I come back, I start my motion, then psh, and then let off and follow through. And that way you generally get a pretty nice even coat. I mean, you can be a lot more deliberate about the coat that you're putting on with your painting, as opposed to going psh, and just, you know, spraying on it like a madman, right? So that's my 30-second, 1 minute, whatever it is, tip for today. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. These tables have been a lot of fun to build, and so I hope you're catching all three of the videos in this series. If not, links will be up here and in the description so you can catch the other two. In any case, I would appreciate your subscription and hope you do hit the like button. And, you know, if you're so inclined, comment, and if you got a question or whatever, that's perfectly fine. We're not such a big channel here. We can handle those, at least most of them. So we will see you around very soon on the next video. I look forward to doing more of these same types of things. I've got some other projects in the works with epoxy and so on that I hope will be interesting to you. So do stick around, and I thank you so much for watching. We'll see you around real soon.